On the morning of May 8, 2025, under thick fog conditions near the Kursk border region, a Russian logistics convoy was moving along Highway E38 within Chernihiv Oblast, Ukraine. The convoy consisted of 14 Ural and kamikaze transport trucks carrying over 300 troops, artillery shells, communications equipment, and essential supplies. Their destination was the staging area at Oktyabrskoye, approximately 25 miles from the Ukrainian border. The movement of this convoy was part of Russia's tactical supply operations supporting frontline units. Unbeknownst to the convoy personnel, their entire route had been monitored by Ukrainian forces using advanced electronic targeting and surveillance systems operating across the border. At 6:10 a.m., 3 Ukrainian Mavic 3 reconnaissance drones belonging to the 14th UAV Regiment maintained a triangular formation flying at an altitude of approximately 1,000 feet. These UAVs employed thermal imaging technology to scan the area along Highway E38 continuously. The drones detected the convoy comprising 14 transport trucks, including Ural and kamikaze chassis. Intelligence assessments confirmed that the convoy carried a full combat logistics load, sufficient to support a battalion-sized tactical group. This included approximately 600 boxes of 5.45mm ammunition, totaling nearly 650,000 rounds. This amount is sufficient to fully equip a mechanized rifle brigade's infantry weapon systems. Additionally, the convoy included a fuel tanker transporting 1,900 gallons of diesel fuel, critical for maintaining operational mobility and resupply capabilities for frontline mechanized units. The cargo also contained over 1,200 hand grenades of RGD-5, RGO, and F1 types, which are standard-issue fragmentation grenades designed for use in close-quarters combat and to disrupt enemy personnel in bunkers or confined spaces. Moreover, the convoy transported 2,001 122mm artillery shells, securely fastened and intended for deployment in D-30 howitzers or Grad multiple rocket launcher systems. Communication equipment such as R-168 radio systems, Lear-3 jamming antennas, and multiple Orlan-10 reconnaissance drones in cold storage were also part of the cargo. This combination represented the forward node of Russia's electronic warfare network. Having passed beyond the protection zone of the electronic defense perimeter at Suja, where mid-range radars and Lear-3 jamming systems had previously shielded the convoy entered a vulnerable open corridor. This corridor was low-lying, flanked on both sides by scattered brush and pine forests with no observation posts to provide early warning or visual coverage. The limited visibility combined with the terrain created a natural kill zone, rendering the convoy highly susceptible to ambush. At a distance of approximately 0.75 to 1 mile from the highway, Special Forces units from Ukraine's 225th Brigade Charlie had been positioned along the western edge of the forest since dawn. The area's low, damp, and heavily vegetated terrain was conducive to camouflage and concealment, enabling these units to remain undetected. These Special Forces teams remained motionless for over 3 hours, awaiting confirmation from UAV reconnaissance of the convoy's departure from Suja. Each team was composed of 3 to 5 soldiers deployed in an L-shaped crossfire formation, a tactical arrangement designed to trap enemy forces within overlapping fields of fire, sealing off possible retreat routes and maximizing lethality within the engagement zone. Each squad was armed with at least one RPG-27 anti-tank launcher equipped with tandem charge warheads, capable of defeating vehicles equipped with explosive reactive armor by sequentially triggering the reactive armor before penetrating the main armor plating. Additionally, each soldier carried 2 RGO defensive grenades, designed for fragmentation effects and strong blast radius. These grenades were used to restrict enemy movement and to target dismounted troops attempting to escape. Furthermore, the squads included designated target markers equipped with laser-assisted optical sights. These devices transmitted precise real-time coordinates to both the overhead UAVs and the HIMARS rocket launchers located deep within Ukrainian rear positions. This network enabled rapid coordination of synchronized fire missions, allowing artillery and rocket systems to strike with pinpoint accuracy. In the air, the three Mavic 3 reconnaissance drones relayed live targeting data back to the command center. As the Russian convoy approached within a 45-mile engagement radius, the HIMARS rocket systems were prepared for launch. All systems were aligned and awaiting the final command. From a command bunker situated 18 miles southwest of the engagement site, UAV operators from the 413th Raid Battalion monitored the situation through a low-latency data link, tracking every convoy movement in real time. At 6:13 a.m., the UAV control system registered an abnormal interference signal on the 2.4 to 4 GHz frequency band. The reconnaissance drone detected jamming activity originating from a Lear-3 electronic warfare module mounted on a kamikaze chassis within the convoy. This system is designed to disrupt UAV control signals, potentially causing drones to lose control or crash. The Ukrainian UAV network immediately activated counter-jamming protocols. The reconnaissance drone switched to frequency hopping spread spectrum technology, cycling through hundreds of frequencies per second over 3 communication channels. This method allowed the drone to maintain a control link despite active electronic interference. Additionally, the attack FPV drones switched navigation modes from GPS-based systems to inertial measurement unit (IMU) navigation, utilizing onboard gyroscopes and accelerometers to maintain accurate heading and position without reliance on external satellite signals. This inertial navigation is critical to counter GPS spoofing attacks, a technique that introduces false GPS signals to confuse drones. If the system detected a discrepancy exceeding a 1.5% margin between inertial navigation data and GPS input, the drone would automatically disconnect from GPS and rely solely on IMU data for navigation. This robust countermeasure ensured that none of the Ukrainian UAVs deviated from their assigned flight paths. At 6:15 a.m., thermal imaging identified 6 Russian armored vehicles entering the ambush zone, moving at approximately 30 miles per hour. Engine heat signatures increased, confirming vehicle activity. The encrypted data feed was sent to the Ground Fire Control Center for assessment. By 6:17 a.m., the convoy was 1.1 miles from the designated ambush point. The order to initiate the attack was issued. The attack utilized one-way FPV kamikaze drones operated by UAV teams from the 413th Raid Battalion. These drones were specifically designed for single-use targeted strikes, carrying shaped charge warheads intended to destroy key vehicle components. Each drone featured 7-inch propellers powered by 2.87 brushless motors, capable of producing 5.5 pounds of thrust sufficient to carry navigation units, batteries, and a shaped charge warhead. Flight controllers running customized Betaflight firmware controlled drone pitch, velocity, and flight path with accuracy to within a single degree. Onboard artificial intelligence algorithms allowed drones to autonomously identify vehicle types such as Ural 5.350 fuel trucks or troop transports, and to recognize structural vulnerabilities including engine air intake vents, cabin locking pins, weld joints, and drive shafts. Even in GPS-denied environments, drones used IMU-based inertial guidance for navigation, employing 3-axis gyroscopes combined with accelerometers and flight path calibration to maintain target lock within a 5-foot margin of error. At 6:18:07 a.m., the first attack drone locked onto the lead Ural truck. This armored transport had a double cabin and thermal shielding on the front. From a distance of approximately half a mile, the drone executed a steep dive at an angle of -37 degrees, accelerating to 90 miles per hour. Despite fog, wind, and high humidity conditions common to Kursk, the drone maintained stable flight. The shaped charge warhead targeted the left air intake vent and hood seam. Upon detonation, the warhead released a plasma jet exceeding 4,500 degrees Fahrenheit, destroying the engine's crankshaft and transmission components. The vehicle rapidly lost mobility, rolled to its side, and ignited from the engine bay fire. At 6:18:21 a.m., a second drone targeted the 4th vehicle in the convoy, a kamikaze fuel tanker loaded with 1,900 gallons of diesel. The drone struck the underside of the tank floor near the main fuel reservoir on a 300-degree trajectory, with an 8-inch offset to the right of center. The explosion caused an immediate secondary blast, engulfing the tanker in a 40-foot fireball resembling a small ammunition depot detonation. The resulting shockwave shattered windows and threw Russian troops into disarray, forcing many to abandon their vehicles. At 6:18:35 a.m., Special Forces teams along the western forest edge opened fire with RPG-27 anti-tank launchers targeting the third vehicle, an Ural troop carrier. The tandem warhead penetrated the vehicle's reactive armor, detonating within the central cabin and ejecting personnel from the truck bed. Following this, fragmentation grenades, RGO type, were deployed to block possible escape routes and prevent enemy troops from taking cover or regrouping. At 6:18:52 a.m., a third drone engaged the convoy's command vehicle, which was outfitted with communications antennas and a mini broadcast mast. The drone struck precisely at the right side door, where the commander typically sat. Flames erupted immediately, the antenna was severed, and communications were lost, effectively isolating the command vehicle from the rest of the convoy. The Russian formation began to collapse as soldiers abandoned their trucks, seeking cover along the roadside. At 6:19:08 a.m., the remaining 2 FPV drones launched simultaneous attacks on the convoy's final 2 vehicles. The first drone attacked a weapons truck from the right side, penetrating the roof and detonating inside, triggering a secondary fire. The second drone targeted the rear left wheel of the logistics truck, striking the drive axle and causing the vehicle to skid sideways, breaking the shaft and rendering it immobile. Within 2 minutes of engagement, the entire Russian convoy was neutralized. Aerial footage from Mavic 3 drones confirmed 5 of 6 armored vehicles were destroyed or disabled, and the remaining one was abandoned by its crew. Russian troops dispersed in confusion and retreat. Ukrainian forces reported no casualties during the operation. Thermal imagery analysis later revealed that over 300 Russian soldiers were killed or incapacitated within a 650-foot radius surrounding the engagement site. The battlefield extended over a 300-yard zone of destruction. Ural and kamikaze chassis were thrown up to 330 feet from explosion sites. Fragments of windshields, tires, and communications equipment littered the highway, creating a scene consistent with an intense rocket artillery barrage. Thick black smoke hung over Highway E38 for several hours, effectively blocking this critical supply corridor used by Russian forces operating in Kursk and Kharkiv. In the aftermath, Russian troops established a self-imposed cordon around the Oktyabrskoye section to retrieve wreckage and conduct casualty assessments. The loss severely disrupted logistics and resupply operations for over 48 hours, delaying deployments of Russia's 20th Army and reinforcement columns traveling from Belgorod. Artillery and supply units were forced to reroute along detours spanning 45 miles, significantly slowing the flow of equipment along the Western Front. This operation exemplified a modern 3-tier coordinated warfare approach. The top tactical layer consisted of HIMARS rocket batteries deployed safely in rear positions beyond enemy counter-battery range. These launchers provided precision rocket barrages. The mid-layer consisted of Mavic 3 reconnaissance drones continuously scanning the area, tracking vehicle movement, and relaying targeting coordinates in real time. The ground layer involved special forces from the 225th Charlie Brigade, positioned along the forest edge to eliminate survivors, seal escape routes, and suppress enemy secondary responses. This integrated kill chain operated with precision and speed. Infantry no longer executed frontal assaults but instead functioned as the final tactical enforcer in a closed-loop system. The entire engagement lasted approximately 180 seconds, resulting in the complete destruction of the enemy convoy without a prolonged firefight or ground seizure.